floor to the representative of Italy.
Thank you, Madam President. Today's interventions by the Secretary General, the Emergency Relief Coordinator, and the High Commissioner for Human Rights confirmed the extraordinary gravity and the multidimensional character of this senseless war. This is at the same time an unprovoked military aggression, a blatant violation of the UN Charter by a permanent member of the Security Council, as well as a humanitarian and human rights crisis of dramatic proportions. From a political perspective, we cannot but reaffirming the fundamentally illegal nature of this war, which violates the prohibition of the use of force against the territorial integrity and political independence of a sovereign country, the obligation to settle disputes peacefully, and the prohibition of targeting the civilian population. For this reason, while we reiterate once more our unwavering support for Ukraine's full independence within its internationally recognized borders and condemn the Russian military aggression, we appreciate and strongly support the diplomatic initiative taken by the UN Secretary General with his recent mission to Moscow and Kiev. Let me reaffirm our conviction that we need to take urgent steps towards peace. In the words of the UN Secretary General Guterres, achieving a wide and sustainable ceasefire would be the first of these steps. Madam President, from a humanitarian perspective, the conflict in Ukraine is not only fueling one of the most severe humanitarian crises in Europe since the World War II, it is also exacerbating a global food security crisis. Italy renews its call on Russia to ensure safe, rapid and unhindered access to humanitarian assistance and to allow the export of crucial Ukrainian agricultural goods in order to alleviate also the challenges faced by numerous states of the global south depending on these products. We also strongly support the Secretary General's proposal for a humanitarian contact group composed of Russia, Ukraine and the UN officials. Italy has stood by Ukraine and its people since the beginning of this crisis with general budget support, loans, and support of the humanitarian activities carried out by the UN system and the Red Cross in Ukraine and the neighboring countries. However, as humanitarian needs continue to increase as we speak, we are evaluating additional humanitarian initiatives in terms of funding and in-kind donations. Madam President, from a human rights perspective, this aggression is dramatically affecting defenseless and innocent civilians, including those in most vulnerable situations, such as women, children, elderly persons, and persons with disabilities. As documented by the Human Rights Monitoring Mission in Ukraine, Russian armed forces have indiscriminately shelled and bombed densely populated areas. This is unacceptable, and we strongly advocate for the establishment of safe passages for the evacuation of civilians. We are particularly concerned also by the large-scale destruction and damage of civilian infrastructures, including medical and education facilities, the number of journalists and media workers killed and injured since the start of the conflict, and sexual and gender-based violence against women and girls. Italy welcomes all measures to ensure full accountability for human rights violations, as well as violations of internal humanitarian law occurring in Ukraine, and fully supports the Commission of Inquiry established by the Human Rights Council and the investigation launched by the national authorities and the ICC on war crimes. This is why Italy, together with the more than 40 states parties, has indeed referred the situation of Ukraine to the prosecutors of the ICC. I thank you, Madam President.
I thank the representative of Italy